So we are back from the market yesterday and it was definitely a long one, so I didn't have the time to do a recap right after because I was so tired. So the market itself was from 12 to 7 and it is one of my longest markets ever. I feel like usually it's like maybe like 4 hours more or less, but 7 hours was a lot. And that doesn't include like the unloading and then the packing of it all. It was, I think in total, maybe like a 10-hour day, which is a lot. It's more than like a regular 9 to 5. So we started at like around 10. Again, the market started around 12, but they actually allowed us to unpack 3 hours before the actual event, which is kind of crazy because usually I feel like a market would give us like an hour or two if they're generous with the two part, but usually it's an hour. And so I got there at 10, so I had 2 hours to unpack and get ready. And this place wasn't like too far from where I'm like from, so the drive wasn't that bad itself. And so I feel like this was like one of the easiest and smoothest markets that I've ever been a part of, because like I feel like with other markets I'm always so rushed, or I make myself feel rushed to unpack and start selling. And I think it's also because in other markets it's like I'm in a very public place, like I'm at like a street market where there's people already walking by and they're ready to buy. So I always have the mindset of like, if I get there early and unpack early, I can start selling earlier and then get more sales and get more out of like my vendor fee. But for this place in particular, it was a ticketed event. So when it starts at 12, it actually starts at 12. There's no one really like walking and browsing before then. So it was just like, I was able to slowly unpack. I was testing new layouts and like really getting the content that I want, and just like it was just a breeze. Like I didn't feel the need to like really rush like taking out all my stickers, and things were like perfectly placed. Nothing was upside down or anything. So I definitely appreciated that aspect of the unloading part and setting up. I feel like everyone kind of felt the same way. Like some people even came like a little bit later, knowing that like the event doesn't actually start until 12. In terms of my thoughts of the event in general, so this was a like music and food festival specifically for like AAPI businesses. So I really liked that aspect because down in the suburban area that I'm in, it's not like common to have like an AAPI specific event. So I'm always trying to get into more of that just because my products are very geared towards that demographic. So I loved being able to support other small businesses that were also vending, and then also the musicians that were performing that was also API that I would have never like really gotten to know, especially also because they're like from New Jersey and everything. So it was nice to get to know those performers. I will say, because this is a very specific type of event, and again it's like in a very suburban town, it was a little bit smaller and slower than if I were to go into the city or even to Jersey City, where there is a lot more traffic or organic traffic. This was again a ticketed event, so there wasn't like a ton of traffic compared to the city, but at the same time it was not really about the quantity. It was more about like the quality of people that came, to be honest, both the customer and also the vendors that came. I feel like this year I've been more intentional about the markets that I am participating in. So if you're new to this channel, you'll know that I started a new job at the end of last year. So I'm still kind of like in the groove of finding my own footing, my own pacing, my new routines. So I've been really like picky with the the markets I've been doing, and also trying to like diversify, like not trying to just go to the same ones that I always go to. I've been again trying to do more AAPI markets. So I feel like for these type of markets, my intentions are not like to make the most amount of money. It's more so to like build a community. Because if you watched one of my first vlogs from this year, it was my first time doing a market like in the area that I'm living in, rather than playing it safe and going into the city where I know guarantee that there is going to be a large amount of traffic. But I think for this year, like I really wanted to build a community and like be closer to other vendors, other businesses, other small businesses that are also kind of in my community. So being able to build those kind of relationships with them. And so for this market in particular, I feel like I've been meeting more people in the area, and I love again that they're API because they can relate to the type of products that I'm selling. And I feel like when you're a API small business in the tri-state area, like everyone kind of just knows one another. Like I think I brought up a small business and then the vendor next to me like knew that person, and so it's great to like build those kind of connections. And I feel like being a vendor at these type of markets, it's like such an organic way of networking rather than just going to like a professional networking event. But everyone was so nice. Like I had really great neighbors for my event. One of them sold like cookies, so I ended up getting a couple for myself, and then they were amazing. And then the other one was selling flowers. I really wanted to get flowers, but I was scared that it would die while I was in market, just because it is a 7-hour event. So I was like, oh my gosh, if I buy these, I know they're just gonna die. So I think I'll support in another way, like another time when they're doing a market elsewhere, and then I'm just gonna be a customer. But elsewhere, there was a bunch of other like artists there as well. I knew a couple of them from like just other markets, but also through the network and the grapevine, just because like I knew one of them and then that person knew the other. And so it was nice to like meet them in person, because I feel like we've been kind of like DMing each other like on Instagram, but finally getting to see each other. So that was nice. And then there was a lot of like food vendors. So I feel like every dollar that I made like from this market, I just spent it back on like food and art. In terms of how I did financially, I feel like it went a lot better than I thought. Again, it was a very slow event, but again, it's not about the quantity of people, it's about the quality of people. I feel like the demographic that came was exactly the type of customer that is typically very into my products, which is very Asian based. So I feel like the baskets were a little bit bigger than if I were to go to a different market that is not my typical demographic. But now that I'm back, I can finally unpack. I feel like my room, my studio has been such a mess, only because the last market that I did was early in August, and I haven't unpacked since, knowing that this market is like early September, and then I had a vacation planned like mid August till early September. So I was like, what's the point of unpacking when like I'm not gonna be here, and then I have another market again after my August market. So now that we're done with these markets and my next one isn't until like December, I can finally unpack, and my room is probably gonna look beautiful again. It's not gonna look freaking bare. Like I am so excited to just unpack. And I have a lot of new products and new like assortment of things coming. So I'm excited to just like make room for that. So honestly, I feel like I need another shelf But let's like unpack first to see like where everything can go, and then we can plan for maybe a new shelf. Also, I finally got a new printer. It is the Epson, I don't know what it's called, the Epson EcoTank ET 8500, and it's like a big guy for sure. My current printer is finally starting to die. I've had it since college. It's been at least, oh my gosh, probably like 8 years. So it's been printing like black and white, but whenever I'm doing any colored products, even with new ink, it's not been printing effectively, and I don't know what's wrong with it. I cleaned everything and I've done all the tests, but it's just ruining a lot of my stickers, so I just can't risk that anymore. So I figured if I wanted to upgrade my stuff, I might as well get a new printer. So let's open this one and also figure out where to put it. Like I think I might need like a new shelf in my room because I'm starting to run out of space for all the new products, this new big printer and everything. So let's start one thing at a time. Sad because it's time to say goodbye to this one, and I've had this again for 8 years, so it's gone through so many college papers when things were due like in physical forms, and it was the start of my sticker business, and it's just gotten me through the last 4 years of my business. So it's an end of an era, but it's time to replace it and on to better things. Okay, so I feel like there's a lot of like functions to this new printer that I'm just not used to. Like there's a scanner, which I never had. It's using not cartilages, but like, what is it called? Like the ones in the bottles with the ink. Like that's what it's gonna be used. Here is the dye ink, I guess that's what it's called. These bottles. It comes with like, I think all the necessary colors to print things out, and then also the black one. And then I think this is gray, and then the wire. I almost like threw these out because it was like in a cardboard box that looked like it was packaging. But one thing that I heard about these is that it dries easily. I don't know how true that is, so I'm not gonna open it until like I actually need to print something out. Only because that's what I heard. But I also heard that like these last a long time too. Like for the ink cartilages that I use for my printer, I have to get new ones like every month or every other month, especially when like it's high season, like the holiday time period when I'm like printing every single day. Like I have to change it out all the time. But I hear these like last a long time. So I feel like it's kind of contradictory to what people are saying about like it dries, but some people are saying it lasts a long time. So maybe you just have to like consistently use it and not like let it sit out for, I don't know, weeks, months on hand. So I, again, will start opening these up when I actually need to print something out. So I'm not sure how to like set it up, but I think that's just for another time because I feel like it's gonna take me a second to like learn how to use it and then learn how to set it up while I have a whole room to clean. So I'm just gonna figure this out another time. And I think because of the scanner function, I'm not sure if like I like it here because it's going to hit the top of my shelf, which I still think there's a lot of room to like scan things, but I don't know. But if I'm gonna get another shelf, I might as well just like put this at the very top because I do want to be able to just like fully open it and not like be constricted to this height only because the shelf is this high. So we'll see. I think I'll leave it here for now and then reevaluate another time. Well, let's get to cleaning the rest of the room and unpacking all of my market stuff. But yeah, now I just have to kind of build back my room up. And one thing that I feel like I should do better at is getting like market displays and then having in studio displays. And I think one reason why I don't have two separate displays for two different places is because I think in the beginning I was like, I rarely do markets, but now I'm like doing markets like all the time. And like last year I did almost 20 markets. So I don't know why I didn't like decide I'm gonna have two different markets that is just going to be in boxes and then ready for markets, and then another set that's just gonna be staples in my studio. And then the only things that I really have to move is the inventory itself. But I don't know. I think one of the reasons that I was already explaining, and then the two is that I just don't want to spend the money, to be honest, because these things, like especially this display for the greeting cards, was not like cheap. It was a hefty amount. I mean, it wasn't like an absorbent amount, but it's like 100 or so. And I'm like, I don't need two of these. I mean, I have to rebuild it every single time, and that's like a waste of time, but like, is it cost effective? I don't know. Maybe in the future I will have two sets, but I've been asking a lot of like vendors if they have two sets of displays, and actually a lot of people do. A lot of people have in studio and then they have market displays, which saves a lot of time, to be honest. Let's be real. But I actually sometimes like building these things out. The thing that I don't love to do is putting my room back together and putting my shelves back together because it just, again, takes a lot of my time. But I think once things are built out and I place them where I want it to be placed, then it's fine. And it's kind of like also somewhat relaxing and peaceful to build things out and then just place them where I need them to go. But I think one con for using the same displays as you do while in market and in your studio is when you're actually in market, your room kind of looks a little empty. And as someone who uses the background of my studio for all my videos, it's kind of sad to like see an empty shelf, and it's just kind of boring. But I actually find a lot of joy like just going into my studio in the morning and getting ready to work because everything is so colorful. And when I'm in market, it's just empty and a little bit depressing. So gotta figure this situation out for sure. So one thing that I forgot to mention is about this market is that I actually thought it was gonna be next weekend instead of this past weekend, because I actually had some new products that I was really excited to launch. It's like new things that I've never had in my store before. So I was kind of sad that like it just didn't happen, because it's supposed to come actually today. And then I would have like that week to prepare like all the photos for my website and then launching it at the pop-up. But hopefully it gets here like later today, and then I can like share with you guys what it is. If not, I'll just do it tomorrow. But I'm actually really excited to see what it looks like, because I'm really excited about it. Like, I haven't had a new launch of something like new in a really long time. I think the last thing that I like launched new was probably like my magnets, maybe, because I started doing magnets maybe end of last year, earlier this year. So I haven't done anything new, and I'm like excited about it. And actually it's two things. One of the new things is something that I prepared like months ago. It's like art prints, and it's crazy because, you know, I sell stationery products, I'm an artist, and you would think that I would have art prints, but surprisingly I don't. I don't know why. I think it's because I've always scared that like my stuff isn't like good enough to be like a print. Like, I think I'm really good at just doing small little things like stickers. That's why I've always stuck to that. But I feel like I, again, had that kind of imposter syndrome that I'm not good enough for any prints. But I started making some prints like earlier in the summer, so around like May. It's now September, and I still haven't put it up in my website because I feel like I want it to be like perfect when it launched. And by perfect, I mean like having a good variety of items. And I just have to get out of that mindset, to be honest, because I feel like if I always have that mindset of like, I need to, you know, have the perfect launch, then I'm never going to have anything put out, like, honestly. So what I wanted out of my perfect launch is like 4 to 5 prints. And obviously, like, as an artist, it takes time to like print things out, and or not print things out, but like have them created. Like, one piece of art could probably take me a good like 8 hours for like a print itself. Maybe a sticker is a little bit less, but a print where like you have to fill the whole page, and like as someone who's a very like detail oriented, like everything I do is, every print that I probably have is very detailed. So therefore it's gonna take me a while. So I always felt that like I needed so many prints to prepare for their launch, instead of like, I just honestly need one good print. Yeah, so now I'm kind of just filling out my box, getting my stickers out, and what was I gonna say? Oh, like I honestly just have to get out of that mindset of like, I need to have an X amount of print to launch something, because that's just gonna limit myself, and it's gonna take me forever to like launch anything. So honestly, I half listened to my advice, because I still haven't launched my like prints on my website yet, because I needed it to be perfect. But I did launch 2 of my prints at my most recent market yesterday, just to like test it out, to see how people like my prints. And I actually did sell one, which is more than I thought I would do, because I was like, I only have literally two prints out. Like, no one's gonna care about it. I feel like they'll care about more my pins, or like my keychains, like things of that sort, where like I have a variety of different options for them to choose from. But yeah, let me show you my prints. So these are the two prints that I ended up selling. The first one is like a homage to the Starfield library in Korea. I've never been, to be honest, but it's always on my bucket list to go because of how beautiful it is. And this one actually, it took me the longest to draw because of all the like books that I had to fill this like shelf up. And so I think it honestly took me like, I don't even know, like days, weeks, almost a month because I wanted to just fill this piece up. And then I made this one, which I did go to. I didn't go to this exact location, but I did go to Mount Fuji and we did end up seeing Mount Fuji. But there's like this famous Lawson's that everyone goes to where it's like Lawson's and then behind it is Mount Fuji, which is beautiful. But for some reason, maybe I didn't stay in Mount Fuji long enough, but I don't know where this is. But yeah, I just really wanted to reminisce on my time there. So I drew this Lawson's and I put a lot of detail, not a lot, but like enough detail in the Lawson's itself. This one didn't take me as long, but it took me a long time to figure out like the coloring of it because initially like I wanted it to be like this where it's like more pink, vibrant, yellowy, and I was gonna do the same thing here, but I don't know, it just didn't fit right. I feel like I don't do a lot of like dark things. I don't do a lot of nighttime drawings, so I wanted a little bit different. And I think this is like a very standard vibe that everyone kind of sees or knows, so I wanted something that people can relate to. But for this one, I definitely wanted it pink. And for both of these prints, and all my prints actually that's coming, is made from Vistaprint, and it's so easy. I'm actually really like happy about how things came out. I did like a matte version for both like the front and back, which is just my logo. But I really like the matte look. I think they have like the glossy version too, but I didn't think I wanted like a glossy finish for my print. So, and then I also added like a white border around it just because I like that look rather than like filling the whole thing. But yeah, there's 2 more prints coming, so I'm excited to start selling, and I'm happy that these were able to be sold for the first time and I wasn't even quote unquote ready. So if you're thinking of, you know, starting a small business or launching something new and you're just like nervous about it because it's not perfect to you, just put it out there because it's gonna be someone's cup of tea. And I also got this like display specifically for my prints, but now I'm like, I don't know where to put it in my room because I'm running out of space. But let's see how the first 2 will look. Oh gosh. Okay. It looks so cute. I just got this off Amazon. I think I looked up like mini bookshelves, and I think it's gonna fit a solid, I feel like it'll fit like, I mean technically it's supposed to fit 8, but I don't want it to cover it unless people like just pick it up and look at it. But if you like look at this, it's just gonna cover it, so I would have to put it down here. So really I can only fit like 4 on display. So I gotta figure it out. Maybe I have to find a bigger version of this or like a wider version of this that can fit more. But for now, I think I don't have a lot of prints, so I think this small one will do for now. And this is kind of the Wiener keychain display that I have for my display. It's just showcasing all the different like Wiener keychains that are possible because I launched earlier this summer, I think, like mystery blind pouches of the different type of keychains that you can get, and they're all just Wiener dog themed just because I have a Wiener dog. And people really love this because I think everyone just loves blind boxes in general, but I noticed that also a lot of people love wiener dogs. So I made like a variety of different like wiener themed keychains. And they're all inspired by my dog, obviously, and like the different personalities that he has. And I share it in a different video of like where each of these keychain stories comes from, so you can check that out. But for this market in particular, I've never sold so many pouches at once. I think like one person bought like at least 10, and then people kept coming to like rebuy it because they wanted to play the game again. Let me find the pouch. This is what the pouch looks like. Oops, sorry. This is the front of it. It has like the main wiener dog, and you can get this as a keychain too. I just kind of reused the art here. And then the back, it's like all the different options of the keychains you could get, and they have like really funny names. Like one of them is like, "Don't care about my back, wiener," because if you have a dachshund, you know that like you try your hardest to make sure that they don't break their back, but yet they just like sleep like this, literally, and they don't care about the back. And I love when like people grab the bag and I'm like, which one do you want? Because usually when you get blind boxes, you kind of like have to like wish for the one that you want, and then they like say the funny name of like, I want the donut weenie, or like the T-Rex weenie, or something like that. It's always so fun to like see the reactions when they open it. So I love like this addition to my keychain collection. In fact, I'm having a hard time like figuring out where to put this board because it doesn't fit in betweens of the shelf. So I'm thinking about like putting it just like up here for now until like maybe I get another shelf that is like this height. I could just put it on top, because right now it's like obviously holding the greeting card displays and my other stuff, and it's not gonna fit. So until then, I think maybe I put it right here. It doesn't look cute. Like, I wish I can see it at eye level, but I think it'll have to do for now. And then same thing with my art prints. I think for now, it's going to have to be here. Oh, never mind, it's not even gonna fit. I think I'll put it on the other side of the shelves. And then one like final thing that I bought, which is like kind of silly, is this. It's for my new launch items. It's gonna be hats. So I wanted it for like initially markets. Like I bought it for obviously this past market, but the hats didn't come on time because I thought it was another day. But anyways, I bought these off Amazon, and then you're supposed to just display the hats here. And so I don't know where to put them. Like, I don't know where on the shelves I have room for these, but I'm just gonna figure out a way somehow, some way. I am nearly done with cleaning up, but coincidentally the new stuff that I was waiting for actually came, and I just wanted to show you them because I'm just as excited. So I opened a couple already, but the hats that I got 3 designs. I actually made 4, but the other one is not here yet. But equally as excited to share with you guys the other hats that I made. So the first one is, let me take off the stickers and everything so it looks cute. The first one is this like lemon tea flower. And it's in yellow. It's so cute. It's exactly how I envisioned it. It's very similar to this like lemon flower sticker that I have. Let me actually find it. It's actually very similar to this like lemon sticker that I have. And it's one of my favorite stickers that I made because first of all, I love this like lemon tea box. It's very nostalgic to like the lemon tea that I used to drink all the time as a kid. So I knew I wanted it as a hat as well, because initially I was thinking like just a floral kind of theme hat, but I was like, why not just add a lemon tea to it as well? And then the other one that I had is just the classic boba one. It's one that I think I will wear the most. I think it, like on camera, it looks more white than it is, but it's actually like more beige than a white. So I like this one too. It's just like a basic bubble tea or specifically brown sugar bubble tea. And then, of course, I had to get a hot dog one, specifically to showcase my dog. And I feel like this one I'll wear a lot during like dog walks. And then again, the fourth one didn't come yet, so that one will be a surprise. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I wanted to get into art prints, so I got 2 more, but the bad news is actually I got the wrong freaking size. It's like this small one that's a 4x6, but I wanted a 5x7. But coincidentally, I also got the wrong size like plastic bag that I wanted to put these in. I already had the 5-7s of my other prints, and so I wanted a 5-7 bag, but for some reason I accidentally bought 4x6. So now I have bags for these small ones. Like, I was so proud of this art print because it's again of my dog and him in different famous paintings. So I got that one, and then I actually forgot the other one I got, but it's also in the wrong size. Oh, also a tribute to my dog, him in a field of tulips, because I like tulips and I'm sure my dog would like tulips, but this one is the first one where it's like a full size instead of having a white border. But I'm happy how these turned out, even though it's the wrong size. I don't know what to do with them because I don't know, I can honestly sell it as is, but I don't, like, it's not what I envisioned. So I'm like, should I just sell it at a discount, or should I just sell it as like a smaller size, which would technically, like, to me, be a discount of the 5x7 size. So I don't know, let me know what to do. I just want to get rid of these so I can sell it at the size that I want. But also, like, do people want this size? Like, it's kind of like a postcard, like a standard postcard size, rather than like a bigger print size. Let me like show for reference. So for reference, this is the size I want, and then this is the postcard size that I currently have. So I don't know, like, let me know which one you think is a good size.